Okay, boys and girls, let's get ready to do Math Message 4.12, which is the last lesson in this unit. Okay, if you're working on the home links, it's home links 121. And if you're looking at your math boxes, it's math boxes 132. Okay, this lesson is going to be rectilinear figures. So let's get started. We'll start out with our quick look cards to give us a warm up. Okay, and our first one here we're going to look at, we have on our first one, we have two groups here, and we have 6 in each group. So we would have 2 times 6 would equal 12, okay? The next one, now we're just going to look at these as what we would see in one group. If we were here, we would talk about different ways that we could see this. Okay, here we have one group, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows times 1, 2, 3 in each row, so 4 times 3 would equal 12. Okay, and our next one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and there's 5 in each group, 4 times 5, and we know that we can skip count by 5, which gives us 20. All right, that includes all of our warm-ups, so let's get started on our math lesson. Once again, our math lesson is going to be on rectilinear figures. All right, and first let's figure out what is a rectilinear figure. It's a polygon with a right angle at each vertex. And remember, a polygon is any shape that is two-dimensional, okay, that lines connect. Okay, and a vertex, remember, was your corner. Great, so let's look at our first one we have here. All right, talk to someone at home if you want, or just listen as I walk through it about how you might find the area of this particular rectangle. Now, boys and girls, we're used to seeing them all just one plain rectangle. And what they've done here is they've kind of added what you would see as an extension. And that's what makes it a rectilinear figure, okay? Which means there at each corner there is a right angle. All right, so we would look at each one of these individually. So this one would be 6 times 3, and 6 times 3 would be 18. And we can look at this one down here as 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 equals 4. And then we have to take and add those both up together. So we would have 18 plus 4. So my area would be 22 square units. Okay, anytime they don't tell us what they're talking about and they're in these squares here, then it is a square unit. Okay. And this kind of gives us what I just talked about. 3 times 6 represents the first one, 2 times 2 equals the second one, and then we just add them up to get our square units. So on our next one, this is the same one, just showing you where we divided it, going across here to make it into one rectangle and then a square. Okay. How might we decompose or separate this shape? And the word decompose, as you can see here, just means to separate, take it apart. So we could take this and we could either separate it here, or we could take and we could separate it here. It just depends on which one you feel comfortable with. It can be done either way. Okay, on this one they went across to show it. All right, how might we decompose this one? Once again, we want to look for the easiest way. So if we take it straight across here, then we can look at, we have a 3 by 6 rectangle here. And now on this one, we know that 3 goes up to this point, Okay, so to go from here to here, we had 7. So we're going to take that 7 minus the 3. So this now becomes a 4, and this would be a 4 by 4 rectangle, or square in this case. Boys and girls, this can get a little confusing, okay? So you need to really pay attention. So 4 times 4 would be 16. This would be 18, and then you would just add the 2 together, 16 plus 18, and you would get 34 square units. Okay? And if you're having any difficulty with it, you can always go to your student resource book on page 180, and it will walk you through a square or rectilinear for you again, and gives you some examples. Here's an example here, and another example here. And this just continues and tells you how to put it together. Okay, and then checking for understanding, here's a couple down here that you can practice on, and you can do this at home on a piece of paper. All right, so let's get out journal page 131, and let's see if we can work on a couple of these together. All right, so they want us to decompose the animal pen into rectangles. Record your number models for the rectangles and a number model for the area of the pen. Okay, so if I were to look at this, my first reaction would be to take it straight across there. Here I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be a 4 by 7. Okay, down here I have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 across, so this would be a 3 by 2, and this would also be a 3 by 2. So here I'm going to have 3 different number models. I'm going to have 4 times 7, which equals, well, let's break it apart. 2 times 7 equals 14. So another 2 times 7 equals 14. So this would equal 28. Okay, then we have 3 times 2, which we know equals 6, and then 2 times 3, which equals 6, and then we would take 28 plus 6 plus 6, and that would give us our area. So if I break that down, 28 and 12, our area of that rectilinear would be 40 square yards. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, they want you to decompose this animal pen. And once again, I would take it and I would go across here, and I have a 2 and a 3. Here's a 2 and a 3, and I'm getting that by 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Now the bottom one is 1, 2, 3, and then going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my number models would be 2 times 3 equals 6, and then 2 times 3 equals 6 again. And then my last one would be 3 times 5 equals 15. And that would cover all my areas of my rectilinear here. Then I would come down and I would just add 6 plus 6 plus 15, and that's going to give me my area. So 15 plus 12 would give me 27. So my area of my rectilinear is 27 square yards. All right, find the missing lengths on this one. Okay, if we look at this, we have this side, we have the bottom. Okay, so we have here, we have the bottom, we have this side, and we have here. What we're missing is what this one is here. So if I look at this, I know going the whole way across it's 5. And I know from this point to this point is 2. So I need to know what's left of the 5. So if I have 5 and I got 2 here, that tells me that 3 is going to be left, and that would be what my length that is missing. So my number models would be 6 times 2 equals 12, and then 4 times 3, which would give me this one, equals 12. And then I'm just going to add those 2 different rectangles up, 12 plus 12, and that equals 24. And my square would be 24 square yards would be my area of that rectilinear. Okay, we got one more here that we're going to do. Okay, let's take and let's go ahead and divide it across here. All right, and now we want to look at what our number models would be, and we have 3 times 4, which takes care of this one, and 3 times 4 is 12, and then our other one down here would be 3 times 5, which equals 15, and we take and we add those together, 12 plus 15 equals 27. So our area of that rectilinear would be 27 square yards. Remember, boys and girls, that a rectilinear is just a polygon with a right angle at each vertex, and vertex are your corners here and here. So this would make this your right angle right there. So we can go and make it. So, and then once you get your 2 rectangles, then you just have to add them together to get your total area of your rectilinear. All right, this ends lesson 4.12,